In the beginning was the worm, and the worm was with a clod, and the worm was clod. He was with a clod in the beginning, and through them all things were made. Without the worms and the germs and the clods of dirt, nothing was made that is now of this earth. The dirt was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the heap, and clod was hungering over the mud and the mire. And clod said, Let there be bite. And then he took a bite, and seeing that it was good, he took another bite. And from the soil he divided the clay, and from the clay he divided the nitrogen. So that was the first clay. Then Claude looked up at the clouds and down at the clods, and when Claude separated the clouds from the clouds, he could see the heavens and the earth, and he saw that this was good. Then with the next day, Claude created the mounds and the knolls. Then he called on the dirt and the soil to bring forth the grass, the herbs, and every tree and fruit. Blessed are the seeds, he said, for the seeds shall inhabit the dirt, and in due season they would inhabit every heath and hillock. Then Claude planted a garden. That garden would flourish with every tree that was good for food, and Claude saw that it was good. But not every tree was meant for eating. Inside and outside of the garden Claude crept, and in due season the garden was inhabited by humans, including, but not necessarily limited to, both man and woman, and Claude wondered whether they were good. Man and woman ate freely from the garden, but many plates were left unfinished. Many articles were cast out of the garden. There were leftovers and there were forbidden fruits. There were residues and there were residuals. And Claude saw that they were all good, and so the worm dwelt among the garbage of Eden. It was a golden age for nematodes. All things were fruitful, and all things multiplied. It was a time to be born and a time to plant. To everything there was a seasoning, and time for every purpose. Whatever could be seasoned was rendered unto Caesar salad, and what needed no seasoning was rendered unto Claude. And what Claude had joined together, no man or woman could tear asunder. Then one day, Claude found himself in the valley of the shadow. Man and woman had stacked brick upon brick, building a tower whose top might reach the heavens, until once again darkness was on the face of the sheep. Claude opposed their pride, but man and woman had sacrificed their only true son and the light of the world. In the darkness the flowers wilted, the vines withered, and the gourds worked in mysterious ways. Forced to choose between the tree of life and the root of evil, every man, woman, and child decided for themselves. Even with 20 pieces of silverware, no man could serve two platters. The sun came up and the sun went down. The cycle repeated, but the light bulbs would not be diminished, and the darkness would not be mollified. Some traveled west and some traveled east. Some put down roots, and others were uprooted. Some encountered generosity, while others met with animosity. Some saved their clods, and others paved over them. And for many generations, Claude was nowhere to be seen. Then from the mist, a soft voice echoed. Those with ears of corn could hear it. Those with eyes of potatoes could see it. Until the cornucopia runneth over, with thanks and praises to the water, the sun, and the whole compost. Let us pray.